you are not to be managed. You are to be experienced. You are to be sought after. You are to be coddled like the baby girl, precious human being that you are. Hey friend, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about why he might not see you. This is one of the biggest struggles that I think we as women experience in dating, where we are really into somebody, we think we would be great together, and it's like they just don't see us. They don't see how good we would be for them. They don't see how amazing we are. They just don't see the value in us. And if I'm being quite frank, it sucks to not be seen, and it's a constant struggle that I feel we face in situations. But I wanted to come here with a glimmer of hope and a ray of sunshine as to some of the reasons why he might not see you and why that might actually truly be to your benefit. Before I get into all of the reasons, I want to share with you the poem that I recently wrote that inspired this whole video. And this poem was inspired by another poem that I had seen on YouTube by Rudy Francisco called "To the Girl Who Works at Starbucks." For those of you who don't know, I am actually a published poet. I have a book of poetry called Through My Brown Eyes, and it's linked in the show notes below. It's available on Amazon, and this is the first time I'm actually going to be bringing this part of me to my YouTube page, but I really hope you enjoy it and that it sets up the mood for the context of what we'll be talking about for the rest of this video. It would destroy me to love you because I would take every single part of you and place them in the spaces in my heart and mind where my priorities and self-worth once called home. I would sprint head over heels to the future that you once told me in passing was important to you, so that I could do everything in my power to help you get there, even though when you got there, you probably wouldn't care to make room for me. It would destroy me to love you because I don't excite you, and I don't inspire you, yet the mere thought of you causes me to choke on air. My heart pounds like there are steel-toed boots beating down on my rib cage for you, somebody who doesn't even remember my birthday. Can I tell you a secret? It takes every single ounce of strength in me not to jump up and down in front of you to get you to notice me, to not call you back, double text, or get you a gift every time I feel you pulling away or rejecting me. This love would destroy me because the more you give me nothing, the more I would give everything I am to try and convince you that I deserve something. So I sit in these truths numb, thinking of how if even for a moment it looked like you might decide to maybe like me too, it might be enough to let you destroy me. What I've learned through my experiences is that some people are never, ever, ever going to see you well. They are not going to see you for your abundance. They are not going to see your value. They are not going to see how much you care for them and why it would be potentially in their best interest to reciprocate the energy that you give. And it can be a major hit to your self-confidence. But I want to tell you today that some people are never going to see you. They are never going to see your value. They're never going to understand what you bring to the table. They're never going to love you the way you love them, and they are never going to give you a chance. And that is, as I said, to your benefit. This is the biggest win for you. And I know it can be hard to see that and understand that, especially when we are in the midst of that type of rejection. But I wanted to give you some perspective from my hindsight experiences that can hopefully help you get to the other side of that if that's what you're currently going through. One of the reasons why he doesn't see you is because God will always hold out on you so that you can get the best version of whatever it is that you desire. Sometimes we feel the need and we fight the urge, like my poem said, to jump up and down in front of the people who we want to see us, to try and get them to understand our value, but they will never see us because God has blocked them from being able to do so. And the only reason why God blocks us from getting the things that we feel we want is because he is holding out on our behalf for better. When God knows what is best for us and what we deserve, and he knows that we don't have the discipline, the ability, or the clarity to see that what we're pursuing or what we're going after is not it, he will work from any and every angle to ensure that we are protected. And sometimes that means that that person who you're spending time with, who you really like, who you think is amazing, who maybe even in the beginning you had a bunch of clarity and chemistry, will just switch up on you. He won't see you anymore. He won't value you. But that is God's way of causing you to step out of whatever is not going to be the best for you, to leave room for you to step into what will be the best for you. I am someone who has struggled with this time and time again, but whenever I get the chance to look back in hindsight at all the people who I wanted, all the ones who I thought were the ones, and the fact that they aren't, I can always sit here and say that thank God. Thank God that he didn't see me the way I saw him, because if he saw me the way I saw him, we would be in something that would be mediocre. We would be in something that wouldn't be fulfilling or destiny to both of us. So God has a way of sometimes blinding people to us when he knows that we are not yet able to see that this wouldn't be the most advantageous direction for our lives and our desires. He wants to give you the best of everything you desire because that's what he wants for you. And he is willing to do that at the expense of your temporary feelings right now, to make sure that eventually you'll get to that place where you'll be like, oh, shout out to all of those people who didn't really rate me because they weren't supposed to, because if they had, I probably would have ended up there and missed out on what I have right now. Another reason why he doesn't see you is because you would have to force it. There is something to be said about a power balance and a power dynamic within relationships. And when this power dynamic is one where you feel that you are indebted, you are grateful, you're like, thank you so much for seeing me, to the person that you're with, that shifts the scales in a way that is not favorable to you. And what happens in these types of relationships is that if you had to force yourself to get him to see you, if you had to coerce him, if you had to be things that you are not and move in a way that doesn't represent your truth or how you truly want to be on earth or in a relationship, you are going to have to maintain that energy constantly. This person is not with you because they decided they wanted to be with you. They are with you because you decided you would do everything in your power to get them to be with you. And if that's the case, you're going to have to continue to force it. You're going to have to continue to fake. You're going to have to continue to pander because you know that this relationship is not rooted in truth. So as I said, because God loves us so much and he wants to protect us, those type of people will not see you the way you want them to see you, because if you were to get them to see you in that way, you would have to maintain that forever. And I don't want to be in a situation, and I hope you don't want to be in a situation where you feel like you're with the greatest person ever and they're managing you. Another reason why he might not see you is because he is not ready. I think this might be the hardest one to come to terms with, because when we're not on the same page as someone, it can almost feel as if we are the ones who are at fault. We are the ones who have something to fix. We are the ones who are not desirable. But sometimes it really has absolutely nothing to do with you. You could meet somebody at a point in their life where they don't have the ability to be what they know you deserve and what they would want to be for you and what you have stated that you required. I know that this may hurt, but shout out to the men who see your value, know what you're worth, know what you deserve, know that they are not yet able to give that to you. So they are honest with you and willing to potentially lose you forever. And they take this risk instead of holding on to you and stringing you along. I think the worst thing ever is to be strung along by someone who you really care about when they know that they don't have it in them to be that thing for you, when they know they don't see you, but for whatever reason, they enjoy your energy, they enjoy your presence, they enjoy what you bring to the table, and they know that if they're honest with you, they might lose out on all of that. So some of these people, some of these men who don't see you, they might actually see you, but they might see that they are not yet at that place, so they decide to let you go, and that is the biggest win you could ever experience. A benefit to not being seen by the people who you want to be seen by could also be the fact that they wouldn't balance you. Friend, I want you to get to a place in your life, in your confidence journey, in your self-development journey, where you know who you are, period. Whether people like you or not, whether they see you or not, whether they want to be with you or not, you know what you bring to the table. You know your value. You know that you're amazing in relationship with someone and out of relationship with someone, because this will help you be able to walk away more easily from men who do not see you. You deserve to be in a relationship with someone who balances you, someone who doesn't feel like they are managing you, somebody who doesn't feel like they have to work hard to be with you harder than they want to and they're not willing to, or someone who feels that you constantly have to prove yourself to them. You deserve the level of reciprocity in a relationship for every single thing that you give. The reciprocity might not come in the exact same way, but there needs to be the same amount of effort and value and skill put into that relationship from both sides. And if somebody doesn't see you, you're not going to get that from them. I used to be one of those people who would always envision being in this amazing relationship with somebody and getting so excited about all the great things that I would do for them. My happiness was literally in making that person happy, and that was the vision that I had. And I had to take a step back recently and say, what expectations do I have of the person who I'm with? I'm going to sit here and yes, do everything in my power to make them happy, but how are they going to be refilling my cup? What are they going to be doing for me? And what do I require? Because sometimes we go into these situations so excited to have companionship that we don't stop to ask ourselves what type of companionship would actually satisfy us and cause us to operate at a level where both of us are pouring into each other and giving back to each other from overflow. I used to be one of those people, and I don't want you to be that person. So if you are in the presence of somebody who doesn't see you, have peace about it and walk away. And if he is the one who's meant for you, he will see you. You will not be the one to have to convince him of that. You will not be the one who has to remind him of everything you're doing, because that love, as the poem said in the beginning, would destroy you, because you would give everything to somebody who would give you nothing, and at the end you'd be left with nothing, and that is not worth it for you. I want so much better for you, and in the long run you will be much happier in those situations than to get the temporary satisfaction of somebody seeing you the way you see them, or trying to convince them to do the same. If somebody doesn't see you, let it go. Let it go, let it go. You are too good. You are too amazing. You are too loved. You are too much of everything amazing to be with somebody who is managing you. You are not to be managed. You are to be experienced. You are to be sought after. You are to be coddled like the baby girl, precious human being that you are. And anything less than that is going to be an insult to you long term. You might not see it now, but trust me, as someone who has been there, as someone who has come out of there, and as someone who still kind of struggles, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that you deserve to be seen the way you see that person. And anything less than that, be by yourself, be sad, be lonely, talk to anybody else, but do not force yourself to be in this type of love, because it would destroy you and you do not deserve to be destroyed. I hope that helps. I hope it gives you some perspective. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this with a friend who needs to hear it, because I know a lot of us need to hear this. I'm talking to you, but I'm also very high-key talking to myself as well. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.